How to do it right, they save the best for last. It's my pleasure to introduce to you the sexiest cast on television. Boy, he had to clean up a few messes this last season. He's the former chief, now he's just under Dayton Callie. Broke his neck hanging himself. Thank God he didn't die. I'm sure he thanks God too. The man who plays Juice, Theo Rossi. You know, I kind of hated the way he treated the porn star, but only because I want this gentle giant to find the love he deserves. Say hi to Opie, right? A serious head of hair. He plays Bobby Mark Boone Junior. Alright, full disclosure. I don't always pick up what this dude says because of that big Scottish brogue. It's freaking hot. The man who plays Chips, Tony. My most favorite moment of last season was when Jenna took this man in her arms and said, "Baby, it's okay." I love it when a tough guy goes from getting all emotional in one scene and then plowing through a sidewalk cafe the next. Here's Tate Kimco's. Hands down, the best line of the season was delivered in the second to last episode when Tara looked at Jenna and said, "I'm smarter than you." The incredible Maggie Siff.
I want to have your baby!
Hands down, this lady's got the best job on television. She not only plays the kick-assiest woman on TV, she also gets to sleep with the boss. Here's Gemma Keith. Shoot him every time he lays a goddamn hand on our beloved Gemma. He's the anti-hero we actually love to hate. You know him as Clay, the terrific Ron Perlman. I love the way this guy walks. Like when he gets out of the shower. Unfortunately, he has his shirt on today. Here is Charlie Hunnam. And the mastermind behind it all, just don't piss him off, or he'll call you the C word on Twitter. The genius Kurt Sutter. All right, now, go.
All right, just give me an hour to do this shit.
Alright, Kurt, I want to start with you because obviously you showed some sneak peeks of the new season, and specifically, there's a little black part there, and there's some sweet bliss going on. Can you explain what we missed?
And the Comic-Con people have a rule in terms of how much graphic sex they can show. That scene that was blacked out was basically my wife getting fucked from behind by Jimmy Smits. So with that little tease, I'd all show up for the premiere. That's all I got.
All right. Now, I was hoping we could start back at the finale. You know, as much as this show is obviously about this cool motorcycle gang, it seems like the finale really came down to the power struggle between two women. Is this a tease of what's to come in the new season?
I think so. I think, you know, the interesting thing I think about Tara and Gemma this season is it's really the push and pull of a mother-daughter relationship. You know? And it's this daughter who's trying to exercise her own control and become her own person within this family structure. And it's the mother that, you know, is threatened by that, who wants to be part of that, who's trying to insert herself in that. And it's this really sort of back and forth. So it's not a linear arc this season for them in terms of that struggle. It's really, it really changes from episode to episode. Which, you know, being at home with a wife and a 16-year-old daughter, I'm kind of living it every day. And
sure, I don't think that's really true.
But so I think that's really the battle.
Katey, can you talk about that dynamic? Does she really love Tara, or is she ultimately an obstacle?
Oh, no. I think, as Kurt was saying, there's not a linear thread in this season. So I think she loves Tara very, very much. And at the same time, she's threatened. She's threatened by her position that she might be taking over Gemma's position. So it's like he said, you know, they love each other and then they're fighting and then they love each other again, which is a very familial dynamic, you know, and maybe that's what he's observing at home, but not quite to this extent, I would say. But yeah, that's what I think is really going on. There's not one, which is true, I think, for everybody this season, is there's really not one dynamic towards any one character going on.
Charlie, can you talk about the finale? You had so many great seasons from, you know, when you saw the bad guys are kind of the good guys and your encounter with Clay. I mean, what was the best moment you had doing that? Or was it just the whole damn thing?
In the finale?
Correct.
Well, you know, the great thing for all of us is that Kurt every year directs the finale, so we get to work with Kurt directly, which is really, really fun, and all of it seemed really, really satisfying. You know, we kind of charge through a season to the end, and you know, when we get there, we've created so many fascinating dynamics and interesting, you know, conflicts between people, and you know, we get to kind of bring them to the crescendo at the end. So I don't know if there was any particular thing. I mean, the scene with Ron was really fun. Where I tell him that I'm taking over. But I guess, you know, actually, now that I'm talking about it, I think the moment when I sat down at the end and assumed the position of president, I think was actually the most fun. There was kind of a tangible excitement amongst the guys as you know, a feeling that we were moving into a new chapter of the show.
Don't get used to that chair.
I feel pretty comfortable in it, though.
Just saying.
Ron, can you talk a little bit about what we can expect from Clay? Is he going to be a castrated man? What's he going to be like?
Oh my goodness.
No, that's a whole different project. Which you can, in Hall G, they're showing scenes from Frank and Boone where he is literally castrated. What was the question?
Actually, what can we expect of Clay this season?
You know, Clay only knows of one way, and that is to be on top. He takes a backseat to no one. He takes orders from no one. He lets no one else set the agenda. So we see him at the beginning of season 5, and every single thing that he's ever worked for in his life has been taken from him, except his life. And so he's wifeless, he's presidentless, he's lost the respect of his crew and his family. He's lost the trust of his crew and his family. He literally starts off with nothing, but has to wonder, why the fuck would you leave me alive? You gotta know I'm coming back. And because I wouldn't have it any other way. And I think what's amazing for me is that I'm getting to play the exact same human being in a completely different set of circumstances. It's so much fun what Kurt has given me to do this season. Where we're going, I'm not really sure, but I do know that it's going to be fraught with tension and wonderment as to whether it's even possible what Clay is dreaming for himself, or we dreaming for himself. Because he's a guy that just, unless I'm dead, I ain't stopping. No, you know, you're not stopping. Wow. So, there you have it, Mr. Teller. Don't get used to that chair, bro.
Yeah, right. Ain't gonna happen, Clay. Ain't gonna happen, Clay. Ain't gonna happen.
You don't get used to your chairs either, motherfucker.
Yeah. Anytime,
Maggie, Tara's just she's a paradox for me. I don't know, she had this incredible career, and now she's with a guy, I mean, he's criminal. What is the continued attraction for him? He's hot! Beyond the chance.
I can answer this. I think it's great abs and an 8-inch cock.
Charlie, here, hello, read.
Please be aware that many of the members of the audience may be under 18 years of age. You can survive. Come on.
He was lovely in all ways. One of the nice things in the story is playing a love story that's as old as it is. They're high school sweethearts, so I just have always felt like there's something about that in the end trumps everything else. And you know, she can't walk away from it, and that's just the truth. And it's also where she comes from. So, and I, you know, she's such an orphan character that in a way this is the only family she has, and it feels like it's almost the only family she's ever known. So, you know, there's this attachment to Jax and also to Gemma, I think, that is, it's family, you know, it's who she is, and it's really the only thing she has.
How invigorating was it to do that scene with Katey? It was like a mental cat fight. I mean, how, was it just a great ball of fun?
In the finale?
Yes.
Yes, it is fun. I mean, one of the things that I'm realizing about the slide of Tara sort of towards darkness is that it's surprisingly easy. I don't really know why. I've learned from the best. So, yeah, and playing with Katey is always fun. When we love each other, it's fun, and when we're on opposite ends of the fence, it's really fun.
Now, Kim, can you talk about that swell scene where
No.
Was that you behind the wheel? Did you do the driving?
Sorry, say that again?
When you plowed over the folks?
When I what?
When you plowed over the two people.
Oh, I see. First of all, the only thing I worry about is my hair. How's my hair? Okay, that's horrifying. Yeah, why does Tig always kill the wrong girl? Very unfortunate, Kurt. But I did enjoy the driving scene, and that actually was me in that car. You know, I think this season, Tig's really off the leash. He really is off the leash. I mean, his loyalty to Clay is definitely questionable. He's ripped the Sergeant of Arms patch off my cut. I seem to be more early with figuring out Jax and his journey with Tommy and Boone. But he's totally wild card now, and the way Kurt has set it up for TIG this year, it's really, really intense, and that's been a great ride so far for me.
Tommy, you're the new sergeant at arms, so you're clearly not Team Clay, or are you? Are you going to go maybe back and forth a little bit? What?
Team Clay?
Team Clay.
Is there such a thing as Team Clay?
See, I can't really understand you now.
One more thing?
See,
I don't understand you Americans, for God's sake. How you people? Speak English, God dang it.
All right, you're the new sergeant in arms, so you're clearly not Team Clay, or are you? Will your loyalty stay with Jax?
You know, I've always been Team Clay. Backstory, Clay kind of saved me from whatever in Ireland. And Jax was a young kid when I came into the club. So I kind of see Jax as my boy, my son. And Clay has done so much shit that it's hard to stay Team Clay, though I do have some loyalties to him, but not a lot, man. Not a lot. But I'm definitely on Jax's side. Sorry, Clay.
How can I do, Charlie?
All right, Ryan.
Is that it?
Now,
Booty.
I'm going to Ryan. Okay. What is Opie's hard shell hide? Is he truly a?
I'm sorry, you're going to have to repeat that one.
What is Opie's hard? What is Opie's hard shell hide? Is he truly? Is he a big softie? This man? Yeah. Yeah. And then all the women want me to be that way.
I think it's a little bit of both. You know, is that it's most especially by the end of last season, I think you start to see a lot of Piney showing through, you know, that sort of stoicness that's unshakable. But I think underneath it all, you know, still is this very strong desire to have a normal family, and you know, and he struggles a lot against that. So I think he's a softy at heart, but you know, the heart is getting ripped out and trimmed all the time. You know, I always sort of think of Opie as a bit like Job, which is just like these awful things keep fucking happening to him. But yeah.
Normal family, you marry a porn star?
Good point.
Now, Mark, can you talk about what Bobby's role is going to be now that Jax is the man? Are you?
Bring back Elvis!
I guess Bobby has always been kind of seemingly the level-headed member of this idiot band. I guess that is destined to continue, I guess, unless he somehow goes off the rails. Yeah, I've known Jax, Bobby's known Jax since he was born, I think, you know, something along those lines. So he has, same as Chip sees him as his son. I see him as, yeah, Bobby is Jax's uncle. I've always, he's the club's club. He's always standing in for what the club needs, I guess, and so that's still his job.
All right, Theo, you've got to talk about the scene when you hang yourself.
Pardon?
The scene where you hang yourself.
Yeah.
How did that go?
How did it go? Sweet, I will pay you all later for that. No, you know, that scene was it was pretty cool. I mean, it was like, you know, 25 feet up in the air or whatever with the cable attached, and it was just this really beautiful moment. for the character. I know that sounds strange, but it was just this beautiful moment for self-sacrifice because, you know, for his family and the family that he's, you know, he didn't want to disappoint. And I think when Clay gives him that Men of Mayhem patch and calls him son, it's that, you know, what he's longed for his whole life, which is a father and someone to just say they love him. And he knows at that moment that he can't exist in this world because it could hurt a lot of people. But being the original idiot he is, back to serving, you know, diaper juice and, you know, crank the dogs, he can't even do that right, so eventually. But, you know, it was just, it was great. It was very cool.
Now this is for Dayton. Why is Unser so freaking loyal to these people? Does it just come back to his intense love for Gemma? What is it about?
How's my hair?
Here, you see yourself there?
I think yes.
You can't see that far.
It's terrible. These are terrible people. What did you ask?
Why is he loyal to these people?
Basically they're his family. He's seen them all come and go. He's seen Gemma, you know, when she was a kid and leave. They're kind of all he has, you know. His old lady left, whatever. So it's family in a strange way. I mean, as much as he loves the town, he's got all these people that he's worked with for over all these years. And I guess that's about it, just his family. Sometimes, you know, you don't get all just good people and, you know, the right things in the family.
Just make sure you call before you come over, okay?
You know, I've been sitting in your chair in the house, too, you know. Just sitting in it, I get up and I leave.
I'll call before I come over then.
That's right. Call before you come over.
Dave, it seems like you more than anybody had a lot of the punchlines this last season. Was that by design? Is he just the guy there's a lot of great laughs in the Dayton when Unser had a lot of great little passing jokes. Is he the
That's
guy
because
you
he's
go?
high all the time.
There's a lot of, I get a lot of humor out of Unser, and some of that is just because you learn who over the season you sort of learn what works and what's funny and what's not, and somehow when it comes out of Dayton's mouth, it's usually funny, even when it's not supposed to be.
We're going to be taking your questions too if you want to start lining up. Now, a few more for the group. Now, this is when I want you to kind of tattle on each other. Who took the longest to get used to this whole motorcycle riding thing? Who's the worst among you? And what makes him so bad? What does he do?
He just falls off. Sorry. Sorry. He just tips over.
You tried.
No, I don't.
You did.
No,
I did try.
Ron, why do you fall over? Is it...
I think it's an inner ear thing. I'm not really sure.
And who takes it a little too seriously, their motorcycle riding?
Oh, it's not up to yours either.
Well, he's not here today. Bro. Yeah.
What do you
But happy. It's very... He's a very serious motorcycle enthusiast.
Charlie's pretty serious, actually. He rides his bike all the time.
I rode my bike here.
That's right.
All right, let's go to some questions. Let's go to some questions. Oh, over there. Oh, goodness. Who is this?
Oh, wow.
This is the fuck.
Actually
just got nervous.
Are you gonna talk?
Can you talk?
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
First of all, I just want to say, Kurt Sutter, I think you're a genius, and I really, really love you. I love you in a very platonic way. Same goes for the rest of the male cast. Katey Sagal and Maggie Siff, I love you in a non-platonic way.
Dude, it's not gay as long as you're wearing a costume.
Anyways, my question is, one of my favorite characters in the show has always been Opie, and I love that every season, and his are always very touching, and I was just wondering what, without giving away spoilers, of course, what his character arc for this next season would be.
I think, you know, at the end of last season, as much as I wanted to put Opie at that table, it just didn't seem like true to the character. You know, we had damaged him and his family so much that it would have been too neat and too simple, I think, to put him at that table. So I really felt, you know, I wanted him in the wind for a little bit. You know, we'll see him, in essence, the club sort of has to gain his respect back. And we'll see at the end of the second episode, the beginning of that start to happen, where, you know, perhaps he's made the decision about where, you know, what his position is going to be with the club. And then that'll play out for the season. But it just seemed a little bit too easy and simple for him to come and sit next to Jax and be at his right hand, or his left hand, I guess, as a result of everything that happened. And can I say, I have, we're going to ask a bunch of trivia questions and give out some swag. But dude, for wearing that fucking thing in this highlight, and bringing you a bag of swag.
You want to ask one now?
Sure. Here's our first trivia question, and I think we're going to do it at the mic person. Okay, you're going to pick. Okay. All right, here's the first question. Did half Zach lose his right and don't shout it out, or left none?
Oh.
Don't say.
What part of don't shout out at you here?
That's correct.
I still love you, Theo. Theo, does this bag?
All right, let me take a question next. Go ahead.
All the way from Australia and I would just like to say thank you for the best written show ever. Question is for Theo. Last season, your character went through some really heavy shit, and I was wondering if this season we'll see more of a development in your character, more insights, and also can I please have you?
It was going so well until I didn't hear the end.
She wants you to have her baby.
Who's ever available?
She actually has one, so it's an interview.
Oh, okay. Wow. No. Listen, I think what they showed, the greatest thing that Kurt does so masterfully is that there's so many secrets that these characters have. There's all these secrets that happen, and it makes these characters so interesting. And I think that by taking a character like Juice, who is really this, you know, lapdog, funny, you know, kind of idiot, you know, who just wanted to do all these things and really just be a part of this club, to put him in that extreme situation that he was in last season, it just gave him these secrets, and to see how those play out, it's fascinating. You know, how it's woven into with the new regime and looking at this show through a different lens with Jax as president, and, you know, seeing how he fits into that whole world with what he has inside of him. So I think he's trying to almost act as if everything's okay, But what's inside of him and what he's hiding and the shame that he has makes it very hard to do that.
You couldn't pick a stronger fucking treat.
That girl wants to eat your baby.
It was a cry for help for chicks. The romance began.
Oh yeah.
All right, next trivia question from Kurt.
Oh, next trivia question. Okay. They're getting a little tougher. We found out last season the beef between Kozik and Tig was about the dog that Kozik killed. What was the name of the dog?
Oh, he went way back.
Who's picking
He's back there.
Oh.
Get it back there. Get it back there.
There we go.
Oh, there she comes. Wow, there's a lot of you out there.
Wow.
And the answer? Music.
That's correct. Yes.
I did not know the answer to that question.
I asked the cast all these questions during our break, and nobody knew any of the answers.
All right, next question over here. Go ahead.
How you going? My name's Benji. I'm from Australia as well. That was my sister before. My question, before I ask my question, I want to say Ron Perlman, you're amazing. But my question was for Theo. You tweeted yesterday.
Alright, how much did Theo pay you guys?
He's beautiful.
He's already insufferable.
I'm moving to Australia.
Anyway, my question was, you tweeted yesterday about geeking out over the Punisher comic.
Yeah.
I was just wondering, seeing as this is a comic book convention, a lot of people here, because of Sons of Anarchy, they might not read comics. What you might recommend to them to start with, or something like that?
I mean, that's as much a question for Kurt as well, for me, and a bunch of others, you know, obviously Ron. I mean, and obviously Davis is Ryan. You know, graphic novels right now are just so fantastic, and we just constantly are picking up and trading different ones left and right. And yeah, at the heart of this, it is a comic book convention, and you know, the Punisher, obviously, Ron did something very amazing with to do with the Punisher yesterday. But anything with Batman right now is amazing.
Yeah.
You know,
anything by Warren Ellis.
Yeah. There's just a lot of great stuff out there, and for me, it's like with the iPad and this whole new way to read comics is really cool right now. So, yeah.
All right, Kurt, next trivia question.
Okay, what was the name of Maureen Ashby's shop in Belfast?
Wow. You were the first back here to your right.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was Ashby's Perfections.
That's right, Ashby's Vision.
Really half the swag.
Next question from fan over here. Next question.
Is that the last one?
We have two more.
No.
I wanted to say thank you, Ms. Sagal, for your performance of Married with Children. My question is for Mrs. Sutter. Will we see a more multi-ethnic cast and characters next season? And what the fate of the humble and the juice? Will this race be called into question?
She watched the show.
Oh, will race be called into question? You know, it's interesting. My show about white bikers probably has more color in the cast than most network shows, is what I would say. There will be. You know, we have actually our guest cast this season, Harold Perlman and Jimmy Smits, are in. You know, we're going to play out we play out some of the arc with Juice later on in the season. So the things that we've established last year in terms of the constraints that were put on him and the threats that were laid at his feet will come to play within that arc. But outside of that arc, we won't be playing any of that this season. But that storyline will definitely continue.
Okay, next trivia question.
Okay, this one nobody's gonna fucking get. That's just what I'm just gonna tell you.
All right.
What was the name of the mausoleum that Jack slept next to in the season 1 finale? What was the name on the mausoleum? Any hands?
You call yourself.
Hold on.
Here, John.
I don't know, but can I have a bag? Show me.
Good try. Good try.
Was it Thomas? Thomas Sutter?
Not even close. No. That's it. All right, that one's too hard. Anybody know?
Patmos or something?
That's right, Patmos.
That was actually incredible. You get some candy too.
Candy. Okay, so you guys are all incredible, especially you, Katie. I love you. And Dayton over there, you were amazing on the floor earlier. Thank you for that. But I was just curious as to how many of you really do ride motorcycles. She kind of touched on it earlier.
Yeah.
We all do except for one.
And to say what Dayton does on a motorcycle is riding it, I think is a stretch. Occasionally Dayton sits on the bike until it falls to the ground. I'm just being honest. I don't want to lie to you people. We got all the way here. There's no point in lying about it.
50 miles an hour. Almost kills everyone in this way.
Charlie and Boone, we ride all the time together.
Hey, fuck you.
Hey, fuck you.
All right, okay, the next trivia question.
We have one more swag. We're gonna ask swag.
No, we have one more. Last one.
Oh, we have one more. Oh, okay. Here's an easy one. What ailment does Tig suffer from?
Fuck, hell, the long list said everything. That's awesome.
Actually, I wrote it. She was first. Tough one.
A fear of dolls.
That's correct. Pediophobia, Nicole. Pediophobia.
Amazing. All right, next question over here.
Pedophilia. That's season 8.
All right, swear in the earphone, go.
As, I just want to let you know that I just retired from the military after 12 years. I did my first tour in Afghanistan in 2009, season 1 DVD of Sons of Anarchy, circled around Camp Leatherneck and blew everybody's mind. My question is really for Mr. Sutter is, are you going to do a flashback episode of anything to do with John Teller and the chemistry of really his death, and what actor would play it?
That's great, and thank you for your flashbacks aren't really a component in the show, so we don't really do them. I try to reveal mythology through our characters and the current situations. But I've talked about this before, and actually have had conversations with the network about potentially at some point doing a prequel of the first 9, where we would see the formation of the club. And as far as actors, I really don't know.
Charlie Hunnam. He looks kind of like John Teller, I think.
But I appreciate that, and yeah, I would love to do at some point. I would love to do a period piece about the formation of the club. So
I got bits on Piney.
This is the last question.
I'm just really trying not to pee my pants.
Let it flow.
The first thing, I just want to make a note that I found it fabulous, Mr. Perlman, that you went and donated time to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. You made me cry. I'm shaking.
You know, Ron showed up there thinking that it was the sequel.
Because you have written this show that has literally pulled from the pages of my childhood. My father was a drug dealer to bikers. Thanks, Dad. My mother is very similar to Gemma's character in that balls to the wall, no bullshit kind of thing. And I wanted to know where you pulled that from as a writer, because I think I should get a cut.
You know,
Last person that said that is on the show now.
I appreciate that, and I, you know, obviously some of it's research on the life and talking to these guys, and some of it, you know, was pulled from my fantastic alcoholic upbringing as well. So, so rock on, drunk moms. My wife is going to lecture me on the way home.
It's only going to take you 8 hours, so it won't be too painful.
But I appreciate that, and no, I hear that a lot from you know, from people who were raised with that, and we've struck a chord, and that you know, that touches me. So thank you.
I gotta ask all of you, obviously judging by all the screens in this room, did you anticipate there would be such a huge female following for the show? And have any of you received marriage proposals? I think we all have.
I love you, Tommy!
Charlie, you go.
Charlie gets marriage proposals every 5 seconds.
I want to just say something about it. I think that there's strong, you know, I think that it's as much all these hot, wonderful guys that we have, amazing guys on there, but I think it's also that the women have very strong voices. And they're not victims. You know, we don't have women playing victims, and so I attribute that to my husband having a fond respect for women. So.
We do tend to sign various parts of female anatomy. You know, some asses and some... That happens a lot.
I do have to ask you about it when you open it up. Will we see a little more skin this season too?
There's more ass shots. There's more male ass than you could
Not joking. The buttocks are out this year.
Alright, Kurt, I'm going to leave it with you. Can you give us any little more tease about what we can expect when you resume in September?
Take her down.
Yes, Ashley Tisdale will be completely naked. No. You know, look, this for me, this is really the season about Jack's at the head of that table and what kind of leader he will become. You know, and answering the question of, you know, can you be the leader of an outlaw organization and not become clay? You know, is ultimately that just part of the job description? And if not, If you don't become Clay, are you subject to being perceived as weak, as what happened with John Teller? So, you know, we've been piling all this shit on Jax. Has played for 4 seasons, and he has all this life experience now, and he's going to be put in a position where he's going to be forced to use it and make decisions, and we'll really see by the end of the season what kind of leader he will become.
And I think what, something that I've been aware of while doing the work is a really interesting psychological byproduct of that, is that I've been feeling a little empathy for Clay. I'm starting to realize that it's not as easy as it looked to turn this club around and to rule without compromising one's integrity, you know? So that's, you know, I mean, I definitely want to brutally murder the guy, but I think there's a part of Jax also that is starting to realize, oh, it wasn't all maliciously motivated. These compromises that I'm having to make are the same compromises that I've vilified Clay for years. So I think there's some really interesting stuff going on.
Does that empathy play out? Do we see that going on between the two of them?
I think that's really probably informing, you know, Jax's relationship with Clay more than an actual story point. You know what I mean? But we definitely see, as you saw in that preview, you know, we see a very we begin with a very piney-like Clay this season. You know.
Big hand for Sons